Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. It's always great to be here. I count it a great privilege whenever I come your way with this broadcast, and I thank God for this opportunity to encounter my dear friends and family all around the world. Man like Rasta, good to see you. Happy Father's Day, my brother. Happy Father's Day. Okatachi Nana Kwesi from Pong. Thank you for watching. Kofi Buache. God bless you guys. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you all. And good to see all of you. I appreciate your time. Senior Bajo. God bless you. I appreciate all the love you're showing your brother. I want to take this opportunity to wish every man out there a happy Father's Day. Unfortunately, we don't get as much bandwidth as mothers do. That is not to even compare the two. And I probably would even explain why we don't get as much bandwidth on Father's Day. It is not to say that we are competing, but it's to tell you the difference between the 2 days. And I've been sharing this thing for quite a while. And I was so blessed this morning. What I do every time is that whenever it's Father's Day or Mother's Day, or it's any of my loved ones' birthday, before I go on social media and celebrate them, I make sure that there's a personal touch, because the challenge with social media is that you would love to connect with people far and wide and not even connect with people who are close. So some people will wish their parents happy Father's Day or happy Mother's Day on Facebook. Their parents are not even on Facebook. And I wonder, have they even... I greatly apologize for the break in transmission. Like I said, I had my sister-in-law called to wish me a happy Father's Day. I thought, let me just speak to her. Facebook can always wait. So like I'll say, so I spoke to my father this morning. I called my father this morning to wish him happy Father's Day. And my father is a man of few words. And I said happy Father's Day. And I'm glad, I told him I'm glad that he has been in my life all this while. It's a privilege to have a father. And I thank God for his life, and I pray that God gives him long life and strength. And then he was telling me that, he didn't have that privilege to have his father in his life for that long. His father died quite young. I think I never met my grandfather. And he was a chief. He was a very powerful chief at Asantiachim Agogo Nana Mensa. Very powerful revolutionary chief. Seen his pictures and stuff like that. And my grandfather, because he was a chief, he had about 10 wives and loads of children. Props. Like, my grandfather has scores of children. I'll say that, because nobody really knows how many. So he didn't have the time with him like he wanted. So he said And I think that it made me understand something about my father. It that pushed him to be a better father because of what he didn't have. My father has always been in our lives. He's always been there. He's always been a friend. He's always been close. My father is on WhatsApp. My father is on Facebook now. He's not very, but he's been in my life. We will call. Yes, that last night we spoke, and all those things, and I count it such a blessing. And he has impacted my life so much that I have such great admiration for my father, and I pray that God will give me a son so that I can name him after my father. And God answered my prayer because I didn't have my father's full name. That's because it just so happened that I have two other brothers. We were all born on Friday. So my big brother, my father is called Ohiniba Che Mensah. And so my big brother was born on Friday, so my father named Kofi Che Mensah. So if I was born on Monday, my father would probably have named me Kojo Che Mensah. And then if my little brother was born on like Tuesday, he would be Kwabna Che Mensah. But as it would happen, all of us were born on Friday. So he had to give us different middle names. So my name is Kofi J. Mensah. My little brother is Kofi Okai Mensah. So I've always, since growing up, and because of the respect and admiration I have for my father, I've always missed having my father's middle name like Che Mensah. So my son is called Ohiniba Che Mensah. Well, he has other names, but that's one of his names. It's in his passport and everything. So I've always, whenever I mention his name, it reminds me of my father, who is still alive. He's 75. God is keeping him active and everything. Like I say, he's still in my life. But today he was talking about how important a father is in the life of a child. He said that the father is like the soul of the child. And for a man who doesn't say a lot to say that, it was so profound and it blessed me so much because I've actually been thinking about this for such a long time. The reason why we celebrate mothers differently to fathers, and it's understandable because we are connected to both parents in different ways. We are conceived by the meeting of a man and a woman, but we start as a seed from our father. Of course, the seed has to meet the egg, but there's always a seed that comes out, meets the egg, and then you're incubated in your mother. Of course, we all know, I'm not a scientist, but that's just how it is. And for the 9 months, so somebody says that mothers have a 9 months head start even before you come to the earth. And I've been privileged to be around for the birth of all our 3 children. And so after being incubated for 9 months, where they are part and parcel of the woman, when they come out, their umbilical cord has to be cut at birth. Because before it's cut, they are part of the woman. They eat what the woman eats through the umbilical cord and everything. And even after the umbilical cord is cut, for most people, if everything goes well, they have to still be breastfed by the woman. And that is further physical bonding. So by the time they've been weaned, you are physically bound to your mother. You are knit to your mother in that physical way. You almost have no option because through breastfeeding, through nurturing everything, all the hormones being released, the oxytocin, it's sent. So that's why you love your mother, and that love is a physical bond. They nurture you, take of. God bless them. Today is Father's Day. But for fathers, it is more of a spiritual and a soulish bond, because if your father is not physically around in your life, you feel this missing link or missing bond, because you know that you are not just a product of your mother. So from day one, your heart yearns for your father. If you are privileged, you have your father in your life, it's a blessing. But wherever your heart will always yearn for your father's attention. You may be around, but he may not be very, very involved in your life, or he may not be attentive to your life. Your heart will, because you are yearning for your identity, where you came from. So unfortunately, because of our lack of understanding of this, we have such high expectations of our fathers. Rightly so, because we link them. It's a spiritual bond you have with your father. I know people who have never met their fathers before, never seen their fathers before, and behave like them and talk. They've never lived with them before. That tells you it's not just genetic. Remember, I believe it's spiritual. That's how God made it. So there's so much responsibility. That's why when a father offends a child, it cuts so deep. That's why people have mixed feelings about Father's Day, because it's either, and unfortunately most fathers have not risen up to the occasion. Well, I don't want to say most fathers, because I don't have any statistical backing, but some fathers have not risen up to the occasion, because I have a good father, so I can't. But unfortunately, we have this picture presented in our society that most fathers are irresponsible. So there's this whole vibe about irresponsible fathers equals irresponsibility. So people are like, oh, happy Father's Day to all the responsible fathers out there. But you never hear anything like that on Mother's Day. It's because of the sensitivity of fatherhood. So I just want to share the wisdom I gleaned from my father today, that as men, whether we have children or not, if we only understand the spiritual significance of fatherhood, it will go a long way to affect how we relate with our children. I'm not talking about. I know we don't live in an ideal world. Not everybody lives with their father. For some people, their parents are divorced. There's not much they can do about it. For some people, their fathers are even dead. I mean, my heart goes out to them. We don't live in a perfect world. However, for those of us who are around, who have the opportunity to be in our children's life, let not the importance of fatherhood be lost on us. And I've always said this, and I'll say this again, that I've never seen fatherhood as a testosterone statement. How do I mean? Sometimes we live in a society where most people want to prove their masculinity or their manhood by, I'm just going to have some children and they're going to look like me. And yes, I'm going to show people that, yes, I'm potent, I'm a man, And I remember when I got married, and before we had children, there was a Father's Day, and somebody came, so happy Father's Day to you. And I was like, oh no, he's not a father, he's not a man yet, he's not had children. I was like, I see my manhood is tied to whether I can have children. So most of us, we indirectly see having children as a testosterone statement to show people that, well, I have strong whatever. It's far more than that. It's far more than reproduction. It's knowing your assignment in the child's life. And it's nothing to be cocky about. It's nothing to. That's what I'm saying. We are not competing with women. We are not competing. That's why I don't really like the whole vibe about. And I understand that because we don't have perfect situations. Some people, they didn't have their fathers in their lives. They only had their mothers. But that doesn't make your mother a father. The best of mothers can never be a father, and the best of fathers can never be mothers. There's a Mother's Day, there's a Father's Day. So don't go wishing your mothers happy Father's Day on Mother's Day just because your father is not there. That there is a void in life. Not many people can fill some void. Your mother can't fill your father's void, and your father can't fill your mother's void. I don't want people wishing me happy Mother's Day on Father's Day or on Mother's Day because I'm not a mother. And likewise, a father has to be biologically a male. Why? Because I believe God has purposed it to be so, and everybody has their function. So if we as fathers do not understand this responsibility of fatherhood, and we think we are just going to be the people who are just going to, and the biggest excuse we give in our generation for not being there for our children is like, oh, I have to go out there and grind and get money to give you a better life. Yeah, right. As if we all grew up with silver spoons. We didn't. And most of our fathers even work harder than we do. But they probably didn't have as much money. So we keep, I have to go. So I have to be away from your life in your formative years and the years where you need me most, so that I can get enough money to secure your future. But that's not what they need. They need you to be there physically. Somebody said like, oh, it's possible to be there because men find time for whatever they want to do. I've seen men who claim they work 16 hours a day, but they'll find time to watch their favorite EPL match every weekend or twice or thrice a week. But when it comes to spending time with their children, all of a sudden they are busy. I work and I'm doing all this for you. No, they need you. They need your presence. Presence, Prescence, not your presence, Prescnts. They don't need the gifts that you can give. They need your presence because it has a function to play in their lives. And I want to encourage my brothers out there. Let us ask God to give us understanding into our function as fathers, so that we can play that role as God gives us strength. And let us not let down our children, because only heaven knows the reverberating consequences it will have on them. Because most of our fathers have no clue how to be fathers because their fathers were not fathers to them. And so it just triggers this vicious cycle. But I believe just as my father lost his father very early on and didn't have much of a role model, yet some way, somehow, he decided that which I didn't get, I'm going to make sure that my children get. And he was in my life. My father, always in my life. And I believe that it has gone a long way to affect me. I don't say this with any sense of arrogance or pride. But my father being there, he doesn't even say much, gave me a sense of security that I only now appreciate as a man, because he was always there. He was always watching. He was always caring. He was always involved. It interested him. He may not say much, but I knew my father was there. And I am so thankful to the Almighty God that my father is 75 years and is still there. I spoke to him yesterday. I spoke to him today, all the way in Ghana. And I'm thankful for the wisdom he spoke to me this morning. And I pray that I will be a much better father because of the example my father has given to me. He is not perfect, but he's done his best. He's perfect in my eyes. I don't see any wrongs in my father. I've chosen not to, because I know that given the upbringing he had, he has done exceedingly abundantly far above what he should have done. So on this day, I want to salute every father out there. But my admonition, my prayer is that you understand that the role of a father in the life of a child is more spiritual than physical. And if you understand this, you always go to God. God, teach me how to be a father. It is not macho. It's far more than macho. It is not money. It is not it's far more than that. It's a spiritual assignment. Let's go to the Father. That's why God introduces himself as a father. Because this assignment of fatherhood is not just a physical thing. It's not a demonstration of masculinity. It is a demonstration of spirituality. So God help us. Happy Father's Day. We will not fail our generation. There will be a new breed of fathers who will rise up, break the cycle, so that people will not think in the same sentence, father equals irresponsibility. But when they think of fathers, they'll think of spiritual identity. God bless you.